fair, Ten Hag, listen, the way his team play, if you could replicate that at Man United, now we're talking.
Yeah.
Because that's what he's taken. His recruitment's unbelievable there.
Yeah.
They've got a conveyor belt of talent that comes through underneath the first team, that feeds the first team. He deals with like rough duels. You know what I mean? People like Haller, disregarded in England. Tadic.
He could do something for Van der Beek as well if he comes back.
You never know. Man United isn't just about a man who can put a team together as well. He's got to be able to manage up, as Cam mentioned before, but he's also got to be able to have the charisma to take over the room, to come in and control the vibe in a room. A club of the size of Man United, with the egos and the big personalities in that change room, very different going to Ajax and managing that dressing room to this dressing room.
Sokin.
They can never do it like I. When you see man pull up and slide, man stepped in the room with legends, Rio and Steve, you know it's a vibe. Check the podcast, what you wanna know? Don't ask me, go and ask Joe. If you're talking Premier League, he's on the front line and I gotta go. It's a vibe with five, and you already know what it is. It's a vibe with five, and you already know what it is. Vibe with five, and you already know what it is. It's a vibe with five, and you already know this.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for this week's episode of Vibe with Five. We're still here. My man, Culture Cams, back in the hot seat. You did all right,
I'm back.
You did
By
well
popular demand.
You did well on your trial still, you know?
I appreciate it.
You did well. You got here Rio, Ferdinand, and of course myself, Joel Beya. Now, we got a couple topics to look at today, but I think the most interesting one is Man United's 5-man manager shortlist. Now, I saw your video, you know, across the weekend when you were in LA, talking about you're not taking the coaching position at Man United. Saw that break in the papers. Can you talk about that quickly?
I don't know where these guys get their news from, what their information. I don't know who he's been chatting to, unless there's someone in at Man United that asking for me. I'm sure there is, because they got my number. They can call me
anytime.
Anytime,
you said if you were there, you'll be cracking that whip, man.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'll be old school. Return to the old school.
That made me laugh. But all right, cool. So let's start off with this 5-man manager shortlist. Mauricio Pochettino linked with the job at United probably since he was at Spurs, to be fair. Obviously, he came second in Ligue 1 last year. His real success as Tottenham was getting to the Champions League final. He didn't win a trophy there, but he's still regarded as a successful manager, and he's going to win Ligue 1 this year, which anyone can do, really. But what's your thoughts? I'll start off with Cam first, because he's been itching to speak.
I wouldn't be hiring Pochettino personally. I feel like the only reason that this clamour for Pochettino is because he used to be in the Premier League. He knows the league, all this type of stuff. But Tuchel didn't know the league. Klopp didn't know the league. Pep Guardiola didn't know the league. So why does United have to hire a manager that knows the league? Why is that a criteria? Like, I've never understood that. So yes, for me, it was a cute job at Spurs. He didn't win nothing at the end of the day. It was a cute, nice little job. Made them overachieve to a certain extent. But is that enough to say Manchester United manager? Now, he got the PSG job. Can't get Messi going. Can't get Neymar going. Mbappe's pretty much carrying the club. We saw the capitulation.
You know, Messi's got the most assists in the league on this year. Most assists.
But have you seen Messi with Argentina?
No, I know, but I know people saying he's been dead. Like, I know what you're saying, yeah. But just if you put it down to cold stats, he's got the most assists in the league.
Yeah.
I get it, but I've seen him play with my own eyes a couple times, to be honest with you.
Oh, you saw him live?
Yeah, but obviously you see a few highlight games and stuff like that. For me, it's the positioning, man. Like, when he drops deep into that position, if he's not scoring goals or assisting, because that does happen in some games, you just think, mate, who is this? It's sad. It's sad to see.
What about the game against Real Madrid?
Yeah.
I mean,
threw it away.
A big manager. Like, the game was turning before the Marquinhos was making their mistakes and stuff. The game was turning. A big manager, Jose Mourinho in his prime and stuff, would have been like, whoa, Mikel, come onto the pitch. Whoever's Messi, whoever it is, you're coming off. And we're going to lock that game off. Pochettino stood there, arms folded, watched the whole game, just bottled. They bottled it, basically. And he's always had this kind of tag of bottler, because he gets to the semi-finals of the FA Cup, loses to Manchester United. He gets to the semi-final again of the FA Cup, loses to Conte's Chelsea. There's many times where you've got to that stage and he hasn't passed the hurdle.
But these are good teams.
But let's be honest, people have said that Spurs under Pochettino at the time were arguably the best team in the country. You lost the title to Leicester. Leicester won the league. Let's not act like
But
you
can't say they weren't the best team in the league at that point.
Who had a better team? Leicester.
You know what I mean?
Who had a better team?
No,
Leicester.
of course, they lost a 2-man race at a 3-horse, whatever they say.
They came third in a 2-man race.
Yeah, but to be fair, okay, I understand that. Yeah, and people should remember that Arsenal were in the mix as well up to a certain point.
They weren't.
No, they weren't. They weren't. So it was poor for. It was poor
you
for a
let
couple
Danny
teams.
Welbeck get to you.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, Rio. I'm moving it on to you because you had a chance to meet with Poch.
Yeah, I spent a bit of time with him, and
Yeah.
he really impressed me as a person. Him and his staff, men of detail, and I would see him thrive and really flourish in a interview if they're going to do an interview process. And I think he would impress the hierarchy and decision makers at Old Trafford if you had him in front of you. He certainly impressed me. We had good football conversation, real football man. And I think his time at Spurs, by the way, I was always saying he never won anything. But if you look at the budget he had compared to everybody else, his budget was low, man. He was working off a shoestring budget almost compared to other people and other squads at that time. So they were overachieving, bearing in mind what they were spending. Then he left, obviously. And I like the team, especially the early days, the Pochettino and the Southampton team, the way they were aggressive, they were on the front foot. That's the way I like to see football played. But then by the time at the end of his tenure at Spurs, it wasn't that same team. So you kind of, he gets tarnished a little bit. Then you see him at Paris Saint-Germain. Now listen, what manager has got them going, the superstars going at Paris Saint-Germain in the latter stages of that tournament, Champions League? They haven't not been able to get it done. So he's not on his own. Tuchel didn't get it done.
Yeah.
But at least with Tuchel, don't you think you saw at least some sort of patterns of play, a little kind of identity?
Yeah, but
I feel like he hasn't stamped anything at PSG.
I don't think someone like Messi was thrown into the mix when Tuchel was there.
Yeah.
So he had a little bit more of a structure that he could work with. Messi's just been thrown into the mix, yeah. And listen, Messi's a good problem to have in my eyes. But when you've got Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe, I think that's a difficult mix to handle. Egos, wanting to be the best. I mean, you saw Neymar's video, you saw his documentary. He left Barcelona to come out of the shadows of Messi. So it's managing all that stuff as well. I don't think that's easy for any manager. So I think it's just like it's a hard one. Out of the names we're going to throw up, I wouldn't be disappointed with a Pochettino.
But can I ask, with the appointment of Pochettino, don't you feel United never seem to hire managers at the right time? Like you look at
Mourinho,
that should have been
Van
Mourinho's job.
Yeah.
Van Gaal, too late.
Yeah.
Oli,
Pep,
was that the correct appointment? So I feel like Pochettino's another one where it's like, is he on the upward trajectory or is he like, you know what I mean? And I just think it's such a United thing to do to bring in Pochettino. I don't know.
Who's next?
Second manager, Lopetegui, Sevilla. Now, obviously, you guys got knocked out by them in the 2022 semi-final Europa League. I'll be honest with you, I don't know too much about him as per se, but from what I'm hearing, there's a lot of potential there. But I don't know if he's a Man United fan's first option. Cam, I'll start with you again.
I think he's in the same position as Poch for me. Like, again, another manager who has overachieved at, you can say overachieved at smaller level clubs. I don't want to call Sevilla a small club because they're knocking Man United out of competitions.
They beat Inter 3-2.
Yeah, exactly. At least he's won something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, he got the Real Madrid job. He got sacked. He got sacked.
Well, there real quick.
They let him go quickly. You know what I mean? So again, at the bigger clubs, you would know more, Rio. The lights, it's different. It shines different. So there's these managers that, it's overachieving and stuff, but I just don't know. I just have question marks when it comes to managing Manchester United because it's not just the bright lights. It's also the upstairs. Is it patterned enough at Man United? Like, is the directors of football, do we have a vision of what we really want? It's different. And I just think
he's just been knocked out by West Ham as well last week. So
I just don't know if he's in the mix. I've got to be honest.
Well,
I know his name's been shouted out, and that's why we got him on the list. But I just don't see him as a runner. Don't see him as a contender. I think there's others with better CVs and credentials. No, maybe not credentials. Listen, I don't know him personally as a manager, but his teams, I've seen his teams play, and they do play good football, and I understand that element. But like Cam was saying, there's more to a Man United manager than just a football pitch.
Yeah. Third manager we're looking at, Erik Ten Hag. Obviously, I would probably say him and Poch are the favourites.
Yeah.
For a lot of Man United fans, they want to see him above Poch. Your thoughts?
That's my number one.
Is it?
That's my number one. What about you?
Look how you're smiling.
That's
man.
my number
You're
one.
smiling.
That's my number one because, obviously, look, I don't watch Ajax every week in, week out, but I've seen them in Champions League and I have seen some league games. And the football they play is what I want to see at Man United. I mean, I think Man United need to move attacking, possession. Look, there was once against Man City, United had 8% possession at one point. 8%.
Why are you bringing it up for?
8%.
Why is he bringing that up? Just having a decent conversation.
8%. And I want to see Man United be that team. Possession, dominate the game. Far too often, I think managers come, like let's say when we had Ollie, it's like, you want to replicate what Fergie did. Fergie wasn't necessarily a manager, you would know, that would say, that dominated the ball. Possession.
We went away in Champions League against the big teams and stayed in the game enough times.
Thank you.
Played in the Premier League, played 4-4-2. Yeah?
Yes.
In the big games, when we were defending without the ball, 4-5-1. Then when we were with the ball, 4-3-3. So we can't sit here and pretend like we were a dominant ball team. We wasn't like that. We picked our punches against particular teams. We went for it early in games to hurt teams quick when we knew we smelt blood. But we were wise enough to know that this team could out-possession us. They're better than us with the ball. Sometimes we've got to sit back where we can defend, but we know we can hurt teams on the counter. So we had a style of playing that we could adapt to different opponents. That's the difference. It's like Pep's unique in that his team plays one way and that's it. You know where every game you're going to, they're going to try and dominate the ball. That's just normal with them. But there's other teams that there's other ways to do this. You haven't got to be the team that always has the ball. You haven't got to be the team that always playing 100 mile an hour. You can sometimes vary your game, which makes it more difficult for teams to be able to approach you.
Yeah.
And that was one of our strengths. Do you know what I mean? So
Can I ask, when you're doing that in a game, obviously you might have gone through it in training or in tactics or whatever, but surely you guys, the players, is he sending those instructions for you when to switch that formation, or do you guys just know? You know what?
It'd say it beginning there'd be a little bit of instruction, but then you'd feel the game, you smell the game, and because we had the experience in our squad, we'd know when we could listen, guys. You'd be saying, people would be shouting to others, stay here for 5 minutes, don't go, and then all of a sudden, bang, you smell blood and you all go instinctively. It just happens, but I don't know. I remember games when we just, before a game, especially Champions League. Let's play at Premier League pace. These boys can't handle that pace. They don't play this pace every week. We get to the 45th minute, half time, they're going to be begging for half time. Get to the 70th minute, they're going to be begging for 90 minutes to come. So just hit them hard early. Then you sometimes blow them games out 2-3-0 before half time. Then you've got an easy game. But it's having the understanding, the experience and the guidance from a manager to be able to go and do that. But Ten Hag, listen, the way his team play, if you could replicate that at Man United, now we're talking.
Yeah.
Because that's what he's taken. His recruitment's unbelievable there. Yeah. They've got a conveyor belt of talent that comes through underneath the first team that feeds the first team. He deals with like rough duels. You know what I mean? People like Haller, disregarded in England. Tadic.
He could do something for Van der Beek as well if he comes back.
You never know. But it's Man United isn't just about a man who can put a team together as well. He's got to be able to manage up, as Cam mentioned before, but he's also got to be able to have the charisma to take over a room, to come in and control the vibe in a room, control the culture, spread that culture. A club of the size of Man United with the egos and the big personalities in that change room, very different going to Ajax and managing that dressing room to this dressing room.
Yeah, and that's why I reckon, you know what I mean, after watching all those Ragnick philosophy videos that you guys kept putting in the group chat, I kept saying to you guys, listen, hold on. No, you were there as well. You were doing the same thing. I was saying, hold on, guys. Yeah. Hold on. And not to say that he doesn't know his ball, because clearly he does know his ball. But I know that it's a different magnitude doing it at Man United.
What he's done,
but Ajax is a big club though.
Yeah, but it's a big club in comparison to Man United. It's very different.
But the expectation for Ajax is still win every week.
But in that league, you can do that.
You can do that in that league.
Yeah,
you can leave 1v1 at the back all game because you know you're gonna have 8% possession. But with Rangnick, going back to him, seriously, we all believed tactically that he'd be able to get things going, etc. No one knew if he could or couldn't work with the dressing room or work from the dressing room. As a technical director, he's shown that he can make a club whole club play a brand of football. He's shown that. He might be better off being upstairs now. We might see a different Ralph Rangnick. Olden has a huge impact from upstairs, so we have to watch this space.
Yeah.
I feel like the game has gone so much more tactical now as well. Like coaches and systems. Yeah, like in Rio's time, it was more individual brilliance can win you games. Individuals can get you out of a lot of mess. Whereas now, I feel like players kind of need their hands held, and it's a very system based game.
Do you like that? Sorry to interrupt. Do you like that? Do you like that?
I prefer Rio's days because I felt like that's where you get more mavericks, more magicians. Now I feel like players are a bit robotic, I'll be honest. But if that's the case, then adapt to it. You're going to have to do it. Look at Tuchel's teams. Look at Pep's team. Look at Klopp's teams. Set out week in, week out. You know what you're going to get. It's a system. United is all freestyle football, and then next thing you know, you're out of every competition.
Players ain't really allowed. Players ain't really allowed that freedom.
No,
the system overrides any individual nowadays. Whereas before, you'd play a system to enable an individual to do what remember Valeron at Deportivo La Coruña? All the older listeners will know. Valeron, people like him, Kaká, Ronaldinho, Okocha, Zidane. Listen, we can keep going with these names. Totti. These guys, a lot of them guys, listen, they'd be good enough playing today's game, but their game would have to be modified massively.
It's funny that you say that because we're going to speak about this a little bit later because offline we were speaking about Joe Cole and, you know, how rigid he probably was playing underneath Jose Mourinho, and we never got to see
because he was the first of them new managers that said system over the one talent. And
we just didn't see, even though he's won enough trophies, you know what I mean? He's had a career. He's played for Liverpool. But you look.
It happened to me.
Really?
Yeah, I come through the West Ham youth team. You ask any West Ham fan who'd seen me play as a kid. Bruv, I was like a number 10 at centre back. All I was looking to do was run out of the ball. My mindset before a game was, how am I going to take on this forward? And I finished the game. We could lose 3-1. But I beat the centre forward 4 times. That's how I have to think. But what I'm saying, I got to England. I remember Sven-Göran Eriksson saying to me, my centre backs do not run with the ball.
Wow.
If you want to play, do not run with the ball. And then Sir Alex Ferguson, a little bit less, I was allowed to move because we had far better players than when I was at West Ham. I didn't need to do that as much.
Give it to Scholesy.
But if I'd have played with Glenn Hoddle,
but you had Harry Redknapp. Did you have Harry Redknapp?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Redknapp loved that.
Yeah.
Redknapp loved it. I love Redknapp.
He made me feel 7 foot tall, mate.
Yeah.
He used to go, look at you. You're like a Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
That's what he'd say to me. And I used to think, I'm a roller.
Yeah. All right, I've got to move on to the next managers. Tuchel. Now, we're not going to spend too much time on this.
I'm taking Tuchel now. I am. I don't care. If Chelsea, listen to this, if roles were reversed and Man United was there and we had Tuchel as a sitting duck at our football club, we're presuming that he's a sitting duck from the reports we're hearing, that there's a chance you could get him, yeah? If that was the case and the roles was reversed, trust me, Roman and the Empire will be knocking down the door. They wouldn't knock down the door. They've gone around the side and just took him.
Look what they did to Ashley Cole.
Yeah.
Your boy.
Yeah.
And look what they did to Peter Kenyon.
Yeah.
But I was going to say Peter Kenyon.
They took him straight away.
Hit him.
But Tuchel will be the one because he's got the pedigree. He's shown already that he can come into this league. He's adapted straight away. He's won the Champions League. He can galvanise a squad. He can get them playing. Can create a culture, create a togetherness. He's got discipline.
And he can deal with troubleshoot situations. If you look at the way he dealt with the Lukaku thing, I thought that was dealt with pretty well.
Swift.
Yeah.
No hang time.
Yeah.
Next day or two. Yeah. Public apology, please.
Yeah.
And that's the way you want it.
Then back in the squad.
Yeah.
He did a good job. Great job.
No-brainer.
Last manager. I'll start off with you, Luis Enrique. Now, we know there's a bit of a situation because of Spain. You're making a face. Sour grapes. What's going on?
What? You're not sure?
Nah, what are you saying?
What?
You're feeling him?
I'll take Luis Enrique.
Nah, let me tell you why. I feel like Luis Enrique has... Is it become like the flavour of the month for Man United fans? A little bit. I feel like... Let me tell you why.
You see what he done at Barca?
Yeah, but... Hold on.
Wait. We got to read out them stats. One Champions League, 2 La Ligas, 2 Copa del Rey's, and 1 FIFA World Cup.
Do not sniff at that man's CV.
First and foremost, he had MSN. Yeah, that is the greatest collection of 3 players you could probably ever have in an attack, yeah? And that MSN team...
He got him playing, by the way.
Yeah, but
Hard to do that for some.
But the thing is, people are forgetting. Yeah, I remember because see, I store things in my mind. I remember in that period, people were saying, "Barca football's not as good as it used to be. Oh, we want to go back to how Pep plays. He used to
You're
even
listening
in
to the audience. Yeah?
no wait. In that time, Busquets. People were saying Busquets is finished. I remember this vividly. They were saying Busquets is finished because Enrique's football used to bypass Busquets. They used to get the ball, PK, he'll knock it long to one of the wingers, Messi or Neymar.
Great football.
And then them three will make a madness happen.
Great football.
Rakitic is the legs, he's running in beyond. It wasn't.
This sounds beautiful.
No.
This sounds beautiful.
All right, what are we going to do that with Martial, Rashford and
He'll find that.
Cristiano?
He'll find it, bro. He'll find a way to do that. That sounded beautiful. The music to my ears, what you just said.
You see what I like? I want possession football. I want possession dominating football. And I feel like.
So we're going to out possession and dominate territory, yeah, with Pep.
If we have Ten Hag, Pep disciple. That's a Pep disciple right there, bro.
No. Anyone that tries to replicate that type of football, you see Liverpool. The reason Liverpool go toe to toe with Man City is because they're different. They're throwing something else in the mix and saying to him, "Come on, then you try and go toe to toe." We tried to go toe to toe with Barcelona in the finals and tried to press them and be up against them.
Yeah, but
We went against what we're our nature, and we got hurt. We can't do that I'm telling you, Man United ain't got a prayer if you think we're going to go and try and play Pep-style football against a Pep-conditioned team. Bruv, come on, man.
So what? So you want Luis Enrique because of what he did at Barcelona? That is like a once-in-a-lifetime thing.
So
Barcelona.
The Spain team have been doing all right as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, they've done all right there, but that's why I feel like they're the flavour of the month. That he's the flavour of the month because people saw a nice little performance
like you
at
ain't
Spain.
on him. Sounds like
I ain't on him. No, don't get twisted. I think he's a good manager.
The biggest
definitely.
problem with him is that the World Cup is in November.
Yeah.
So we ain't getting him. That's it.
What about when Italy won the Euros? People were saying Mancini to United. People were saying potentially.
Mancini? I've never said that.
No.
There was a few people saying it. No, not you, but there was a few people saying it. But the reality is,
He's been manager of Man City.
Man
There's
City
no
would
way he's
make it.
allowed in the building.
Yeah, I
And
know.
all it takes is one. You
Can't let him in the
qualify for the
building. Can
World
we
Cup.
let him in the building? So he's from Manchester. We can't let him in. There's someone behind the scene. We cannot let him in the building at Man United. I'm sorry.
You're saying that now, but a few months ago, you guys were just looking
Who's you
mad
guys?
desperate.
Not me, mate.
United
They were
fans,
looking
you
at
guys were
Brendan
looking,
Rodgers,
yeah,
ex-Liverpool
mad
manager.
desperate. Yeah, that was coming up.
Bit different.
Why?
No.
That's even worse. That's even worse. It is even worse.
In the same
That's
city.
even worse.
In the same city.
Nah.
Real respect the heritage.
Come on,
Liverpool
man.
United. You've been through it.
There's no
Ooh.
way. Listen, Brendan Rodgers ain't coming to Man United.
Yeah.
But Mancini's not coming to Man United.
Nah. But listen, okay, so we've gone through the managers, but there's been something that I saw in the papers that really, really was interesting today. Wayne Rooney and you having a little back and forth. Now, personally, yeah, I don't know. I feel like the media kind of like took it out of context, but what was actually said and where was it? Can you please paint
No,
the
it was
scenario?
at a signing. Some of us do these things where you go and talk to an audience. It was in Manchester. I done one a few months ago. They're quite funny. You have a few beers and you get loose lips a little bit when you're in there. The guard's down. You don't see the big cameras and the big microphones. And you just sit there and chat. He said a couple of things about a few former players. He said about me being ignorant, and we argued. And he told me,
Arrogant.
do your job, etc. I think he's referring to when we're on the pitch arguing.
Just pass me the ball.
Yeah. Just give me the ball. The players who can make a difference.
Yeah.
But he was, I think he's referring to points when we were on the pitch. We would argue either in front of everyone at Old Trafford or in the training ground. We would always argue. Yeah, me and him always argued.
Give
But
an
it was part
example.
of it.
Give an example.
No, sometimes Waz would want to do like a long pass and 30, and I'll be thinking, just shoot, man. Just don't be doing all these fancy passes. Let Scholesy and them let them do that. I want you to be at the cutting edge and bang, be decisive. And Wazza wasn't happy if the game was going on. Wazza could score 2 goals in a game and not be involved in the game and come off with the ump. Because he wants to be, he's not a street footballer. He wants to be involved in the 90 minutes playing all the time. And I say, bro, I just want goals. I don't care what else you do. So we used to argue. So if the ball came up and it weren't sticking and he weren't holding it up, I'd be screaming, Wazza, hold it up. And he'd go, swear, blip, blip. You do your own job. You do what you're doing. Get the team up. Or it'd just be back and forth, constant. But listen, that's what drove each other. We drove each other like that.
But I think it's funny though, because when I saw that, it made me laugh because he actually took a similar shot when I interviewed him on the red carpet. He said something. We got to put the video in, guys. Like, we got to put it. It was on the night of his premiere.
Obviously, we always a top player. Quick, good on the ball, good in the air. Not so sure about his white suit when he signed for Man United, but no. And then as a teammate, obviously, a joy to play with. And I think I seen Rio's interview a few weeks ago actually, and we used to argue every day in training.
Did you really? Oh, you saw it when he said sometimes
because as a forward, when you go and press the ball, if your defenders don't come up with you, then it leaves big gaps, and he very rarely come up. He was a bit lazy, so we used to argue a lot.
But you can tell that he loves taking a dig at you, vice versa. But I think so for the papers
when you're like you're listen, we've been teammates. I don't know how long we were together, maybe 10, 12 years, man. So like there's a lot of water under the bridge. There's a lot of stuff going on between us. We used to love a laugh, mate. He used to sit next to me in the change room. So we've got we meet up. I went to his premiere the other day. We meet up and stuff. We chat on the phone. So our relationship always been
solid.
Good. Yeah, solid.
They're in the same group chat, like just messing around.
For real?
Yeah.
He actually, I think he's left.
You're joking.
Yeah, I think I saw someone. I think Tom cleverly said he left this morning. Or something like that. Yeah. So he dropped a bomb and just got out.
Yeah. Back in.
Yeah, I'm admin, brother.
Yeah. That's brilliant. Guys, well, we've gone through the top 5 managers for the Man United shortlist. This is just cracking me up, man. Like, there's just so much going on. Who's it going to be? Whatever. I thought you guys were going to win the league this year, man. Maybe I'm wrong.
Just got to get it right, man. We got to get this one right. Can't get this one wrong, man. Otherwise, it's another 3 years of disastrous behaviour.
Hey, remember when you lot used to laugh at Arsenal for not winning the league in like 10 years?
Mate, you still ain't won.
Welcome.
You're talking like you lot are winning stuff or in contention.
Welcome to my club, mate. Welcome.
You still haven't won it.
Welcome. On
Still
that
not
note,
close.
guys, listen, let us know in the comments who you want to become the manager. If you agree with Cam's points, because you know Cam, sometimes he says some wild stuff. Let us know what
You
you
were saying
think.
something about Bruno before, wasn't
Oh
you?
yeah. What was that about? We got to mention that.
Yeah, what was
Sorry.
he saying? Bruno's up for a new deal.
Go on, Cam.
and you're not happy.
Nah, I'm not. See, look. It's not about not being happy about Bruno getting new. It's about why is he getting a new deal right now? Why?
Because if he doesn't get
Rio, he's got 3 years left. Why does he need a 5-year deal?
he's got 3 years after this year.
Yes, he's got 3 years left on his contract. The Man United are about to give him a pay rise of $250, so he's gonna get $250 a week, double his wages. 5-year deal. It'll run till he's like 33. Why?
You know what
What's
it
the
is?
need?
Because
Has he won trophies at United?
Man United, well, no one's won trophies at United because they're not in a position to. But
So
what the
then-
problem is, for the last 2 years before this year, he's carried the team on his back.
Yeah,
He
but
has,
which is the
which
truth.
is a
Okay.
debate, right? There's been no one more consistent than him, maybe David De Gea at a push.
yeah.
So he's being rewarded. And I think as well, listen, how many players are we seeing leave on a free transfer? Pogba.
Yeah, Pogba's off.
Are we going to allow Bruno to leave on a free transfer? They might sign him on this new deal and sell him in a year. You never know, because the new manager might come in and say, actually, he ain't for me. But at least they've got him tied down. He can't sit there for another couple of years then and go, oh, I'm getting into my last year. I'm just going to sit down and wait to go on a free.
But don't you think a new manager should come in and be kind of like, he might come in and be like, I'm not even feeling Bruno. Now he's sitting on 250.
That's
for
my
5 years.
That's where I agree with you. Like, is there dialogue with the person coming in that we don't know about to suggest that they want Bruno locked down? Like, because that's going to be a funny one. What new manager comes in don't want him? What happens then? But what they will say is we've got him tied to a contract. We want top dollar to take him now. That's the difference if he's on a new contract.
Do you think the top clubs in world football are queuing for Bruno?
I think there'll be big clubs in for him.
Yeah. I think if he's available, it's different because right now there's no sense of availability.
You've
so
got to say, bruv, when Bruno's on it, he scores goals.
Yeah.
There's been no one at Man United in his time with more goal involvement.
No.
Would you not consider
Even
him,
in thinking
would you
in
not
the
consider him? And I think he's a fantastic player, by the way. But these are what other people have implanted into my head, and I do see it more of a volume player, meaning you're going to need a lot of opportunities for him to get that pass going. So sometimes he can be quite wasteful.
I mean, there was a stat that said like 40% of Man United's passes in the final third go to Bruno. And the season, I think last season, other than Jack Grealish, United passed the ball most to Bruno than any other player, or something like that. So everything does go through him. And that's can be a pro for him because he can get his output, he can get his stats, but you are going to get many moments where dead cross, dead pass, loses the ball, bad retention. So Bruno's like up and down with fans, innit? Like the retention, the clean side of the game, I don't really think he's got it. but the output, you can't
Listen,
argue
man.
with his numbers. So
He's
it's
done a lot.
about what you
some,
like.
Some of the
innit?
passes you've seen him, the assist that you've seen him provide, for other people. Some of the goals, you got to take. Sometimes there's a risk that comes with the way he plays. But what I would say, if he's in a team that's set up to not allow counter-attacks once he's in possession of the ball, then you got a good problem. Because I'll take the times he gives it away because I know he's going to get one of them in that game on a sixpence for someone like Cristiano.
Do you know who you need for that? Ten Hag. Ten Hag.
All right, we'll leave it there.
10 Hag.
Guys, thank you very much for watching. And like I said, make sure you let us know in the comments what you think. And also, don't forget to watch Rio's video where he's reacting to him being on Ten Hag's staff. And also Gazzetta dello 5's coming out.
They tried to get me, man. They must have tried to get me. Innit?
Honestly.
They just put it out in the paper that way. You know, people do it that way sometimes.
Yeah.
They put it out and
Yeah.
they try and start the story. They've obviously done it that way, that trying to get me through the media. But it's not happening, guys.
All
I'm
the
staying
news
with 5.
is
I'm staying
breaking here on 5. All right, guys, we'll see you soon. Peace.